The AOC AG251FZ is one of a new breed of 240Hz gaming monitors. With nearly double the refresh rate of most existing gaming monitors and quadruple that of conventional 60Hz screens, it's billed as the start of a new era in gaming. But is it? Well, before we get onto that, let's take a look at everything else this display has to offer. This is a 25-inch panel with a 1080p resolution, which means you only get a pixel density of 90 pixels per inch. That's quite low and results in a slightly stretched looking pixelated image that's good for gaming but less so for productivity. That limited resolution is for a good reason though. To reach 240Hz, 1080p is the maximum possible resolution that can be used before maxing out the DisplayPort 1.2 connection. Elsewhere though, AOC has packed this display with features, the most obvious of which is a fairly premium looking stand. It's nearly all solid metal and it offers height, rotation, pivot and tilt adjustments so you can quickly get it set up just how you like and easily access the connections around the back. It also incorporates a handle, and thanks to an included adapter you can attach alternative monitor mounts too. Also, not only are these connections easy to access, but there's plenty of them. There's the DisplayPort to HDMI, DVI and even VGA, so you really can hook up just about anything to this display. There's also an analog audio input so you can add audio to the VGA and DVI signals, as well as a microphone output so you can pass audio back from your headset microphone, the input for which is on the side next to the headphone jack. You also get built-in speakers that are muted automatically when headphones are plugged in. On the side you'll also find a couple of USB 3 ports, one of which provides standby power so you can charge your devices even when the monitor is off. The input for the USB ports is next to the rest of the connectivity on the back, where there's a further couple of outputs. Elsewhere there are more extra features too. A little flip-down headphone stand is a small but convenient addition, and a wired remote for controlling the on-screen display and quickly switching between image presets plugs in round the back. I found I didn't really use the remote, but others may find it useful. You also get more conventional OSD controls on the underside of the display, and the OSD itself is reasonably intuitively laid out and responds quickly. As for the overall styling of this monitor, the stand should have fairly universal appeal, but the red panel on the back is a bit of an acquired taste, and the painted on AOC logo on the front bezel isn't exactly the height of chic. Plus the bezel isn't low profile, though is still reasonably slim. So not the finest looking monitor I've ever seen, but still better than most. But what is just about the best I've ever seen is image quality. For a TN panel it impresses on just about every front, despite only using a 6-bit rather than 8-bit panel. Out of the box it just looks right. There's no obvious colour cast or dullness to the image, blacks look black, whites look white, and everything in between is as it should be. It's still not really good enough for content creation, and the limitations of the 6-bit panel can show up when watching dark videos in particular, but it still puts to shame many other gaming monitors. What's more, image quality changes little when upping the refresh rate, so you don't have to worry about changing between refresh rates for desktop use or gaming. All this and the viewing angles are pretty good too. Unlike many other TN panels, there's next to no shift in the image just from moving your head a little from side to side, and there's only a minimum of difference in colour between the top and bottom of the panel. What's more, this panel coats particularly well with light grey colours, which can often be where the limitations of TN panels are most obvious, as they can look a little off colour and really highlight the slight variation in colour that you get from poor viewing angles. So all in all, this monitor has laid a solid foundation so far, but what about that all-important gaming performance? Well, it's surprisingly good. For those into fast-paced Twitch games, you'll immediately notice an upgrade in responsiveness over 144Hz panels, and when going back to 60Hz, well, I genuinely thought something was wrong with my monitor, it felt so slow. Whether there's truly enough of an advantage over 144Hz panels to result in a clear performance difference in typical online gaming scenarios, well, it's something I'm still investigating, but in terms of feel it's a definite upgrade. Now, this monitor doesn't feature a backlight strobing blur reduction mode, but comparing to other monitors with this feature, I'm still somewhat undecided on which I prefer. 144Hz with blur reduction looks clearer, but 240Hz without feels more responsive. And on balance I think I prefer the latter. Freesync also works well all the way up to 240Hz, and I didn't notice any reduction in responsiveness with it on. All of which means I'm thoroughly impressed by this monitor. It delivers on every front, providing loads of features, a nice design, good overall image quality and the best gaming performance I've ever encountered. The only sting in the tail is the price, which at around £420 or $500 is undeniably high for what still amounts to a 1080p TN monitor. However, the exclusivity and performance of the 240Hz panel, combined with all those extra features, means it's still reasonable value, and as such is a monitor I can wholeheartedly recommend.